Hey guys, Indy here with Ultimate Tool Reviews, and I recently just did a video on my top impact drivers from Makita for 2022. Now, I wanted to do my top impact wrenches for 2022, but not just be inclusive to Makita. I wanted to basically show you my top picks that I found for this year. Not only just, price point, but durability as well as power. And, overall, just how useful is that impact wrench to me? Now, I have these actually in order from left to right. They are from weakest to strongest. So let's start with the weakest over here. And this is the Makita XWT12. This is just a regular 3/8 inch brushed impact. Now, this impact isn't the most popular, but that's kind of an advantage actually, because they go for really, really cheap on eBay. I got this one for 50 bucks, free shipping. It said it was used, but it looks almost brand new. I don't think it was actually maybe even used, maybe just pulled out of a box. And it's got about 2.5 years of warranty left on it as well. Now, this is a really weak impact driver, but for what I do whenever I assemble furniture for clients, it's actually really useful. And I'll show you why. So if you compare it to something like the Dewalt, check out the head size here. And if you notice, it tapers off kind of like the XDT19 impact driver from Makita. And it's got that kind of tapering off, so it allows it to get into corners a lot better. So if I were to say maybe put on a socket here, you can see how much thinner that head is compared to the Dewalt. Whereas yes, the Dewalt is going to be shorter, but it's not as thin. There's so much of this head here that's sticking up that you can't really get this thing into super tight places as well as the Makita can. So gives it kind of a cool advantage there. There is a few settings on here, like an automatic bolt removal, slow and high speeds, but it's not a huge difference on this impact wrench. I kind of just put it in a high and kind of go from there. But overall, for the price you get this thing for on eBay, it's a really cool impact wrench just to kind of have and throw in your bag for very light duty tasks. And that's exactly what I use it for. It really doesn't do anything, crazy. You're not going to be taking lugs off with this thing at all. But for, smaller tasks, using with hex keys, it's a fantastic little impact wrench. And it's a great deal too at how cheap you can find it. Well, moving on to the next impact wrench. This is going to be the only Metabo HPT that I've got for an impact wrench so far. And just like the Makita, you can find these pretty cheap as well too. I got this one actually on clearance at Lowe's. I think I paid like 69, 70 something bucks for it. Really good deal. It also is the IP56 rated, and it also uses the multi-volt batteries like pretty much every Metabo HPT tool uses. Now, this tool is actually part of that free rebate deal that I talked about a bunch last month. So I got the free, 8 amp hour battery to go with it. That's running an 18 volt. It's going to be 4 amp hour and 36 volt. Now, this is a pretty cool impact wrench. It's got some good settings on it. This is my backup impact wrench for when I carry it with my Makita as well too. So I've got a 1/2 inch and a 3/8 inch ready to go. It's got a lot of cool features. It's really cheap. You can find these on eBay. I've seen them as low on eBay for like 55, 60 bucks. The lowest I've seen them. I actually picked one up for like 59 bucks on eBay, brand new in the box one time. That was earlier this year when I picked that up. And overall, it's been a fantastic impact driver. Definitely not the most powerful compact 1/2 inch you're going to find. The Milwaukee and Dewalt options are definitely going to be way more powerful than this one. But having the IP56 rating, that free battery, the clearance pricing on this, really makes it something that you just want to have just in case for how cheap it really can be. And, it's overall, I don't really have much to complain about it really. Other than just having, not as much power as some other options. It's brushless, it's pretty compact, great warranty on it, you get the free battery. Overall, I think it's a pretty solid choice for, just having a backup 1/2 inch impact driver. And that's why I chose it for this top impact drivers of 2022. Now let's move on to kind of one of the most, crazy impact drivers. And the reason I say that is I really never expect a 12 volt tool to put out such crazy figures. Now, Torque Test channel did a video on this one, and definitely recommend checking that video out. It doesn't really match up to the figures it's putting out, but I haven't really come across anything that this thing can't take off. It's pretty crazy how strong this thing is. Now, they are a little pricey. I think they're like 140 bucks or so retail. But Dewalt had some deals with this where you spend the $200, you get a impact driver, you get a drill, 2 batteries, and then this was actually one of the free tools you could pick up with it. I was quite surprised to see this as a free tool because it's such an expensive tool by itself. Now, it does have, the tri-LED beams, which I really like, but it's got one major weakness that I'm not a fan of, and it's got no modes. So unlike the, the older 3/8 inch impact wrench that it has almost half the power of, it does lack the modes. I'm guessing Dewalt did that to kind of hit a lower price point with this and keep it around the 12 volt impacts and not hit up into the, 18 volt impacts too much. Now the same impact does come with a half-inch impact, or sorry, a half-inch anvil as well. You can get that as a different model. But it's gonna be the same amount of torque. Now, I went with the 3/8 because for 12 volt, I'm not really gonna use a lot of half-inch for my 12 volt tools. But this thing puts out more power than pretty much every other 3/8 inch impact wrench on the market. And for the price you get it for, with the 2 tools and the 2 batteries, this is the free tool, all for $200. It's a pretty wild deal, and I really couldn't pass that deal up. Definitely recommend to keep your eyes out for this tool. Just an insane deal, and puts out so much power. I use this one around the house a lot. My only complaint about it is I don't like using it necessarily on a lot of jobs that I do, just because of the head being so big. It can't get into a lot of areas that I want it to be. Plus, I'm a little worried about stripping out more sensitive fasteners without having to be able to put this on a low mode. It's kind of just going to be trigger only. So it does have some downsides. But overall, the value, if you just want a really powerful 3/8 inch impact, this is the one to get, and it's a fantastic deal. They can be found on eBay, I believe, for under $100 pretty easily. I see them kind of that $80, $90 range, and overall, definitely recommend it. Dewalt is really putting out some killer 12 volt tools, and this is definitely one of them. Now, this is a tool I haven't really mention the channel too much. It's not a tool that I use a lot, and there's a lot of really good reviews on this. I didn't really decide to do a review on this just yet, but this is the big Makita XWT-08, and I had a lot of DeWalt mid torques. I had a Makita mid torque, and ironically this DeWalt replaced them all because it really put a lot more power. I liked it a bit more than those, and I was actually able to sell some of my half-inch impacts that were in the compact, subcompact ones, and actually be able to just buy this outright without much of a difference there. So really cool to see that, but I really want something that, if I need a lot of power, I have it available. And this is the Makita that does it. Now, of course, guys, it's, it's kind of a pick whatever you want between the Dewalt, which the Dewalt is the current king. I think it's the new 900, I believe. And then Milwaukee's been kind of fumbling around with the their new high torques, the B models, that are having a ton of issues. Whereas, the Makita is going to be, kind of mid-pack there. Not the most powerful, not the cheapest, but it's still there. Now, the reason I went with the Makita over the Dewalt or the Milwaukee is I was waiting for a deal on any one of those 3, and I found the Makita first. So I got this actually with a 5 amp hour battery, shipped to my door for like $170. It was a really good deal. This thing's got at least 2 years of warranty left on it as well. So overall, I do like it a lot. Now, Torque Test channel, he has this thing called the one vibration rating. I forgot what it's called. The hand twist, I think, rating, and he gave us actually a pretty high rating, as in that it's, it has a lot of vibration. It likes to fly off the bolt. Definitely would agree with that, actually. I thought he was a little bit exaggerating on that, but when I use this thing, yeah, this thing is not the smoothest impact wrench that I've used. Definitely watch that out, guys. It's not going to be, a real smooth. It's definitely going to be, a real powerful tool, and it's not going to have the refinement that you might expect from a Makita tool. Now, of course, they've got a new model that's in the XGT version, but it's nearly 3 times the price, and I figured I'll just go the LXT. It's not a tool I'm going to use a ton. I'm going to use it maybe once a month at most, but when I need it, I definitely need the tool. Now, this is, definitely going to be a more expensive tool. However, though, depending on what you're doing, guys, I don't necessarily recommend just buy the biggest, the baddest impact wrench. You don't want to strip bolts. You don't want to break bolts. This is going to be something you're going to start breaking bolts with. Definitely don't throw a 3/8 inch adapter on this as well. You're going to bust that off, or you're going to bust off whatever you're trying to break off as well, too. Will it work? Sure. Is there lower modes? Sure. But guys, just go with something like, you know, one of these three behind it for doing lighter tasks. It's gonna be smaller. This thing is a beast. It's pretty heavy. It's definitely a tool you wanna have just in case you need to brush off something that's a bit heavier, you know, a bit tighter. But I'm pulling the smaller ones out way more than I'm pulling the big one out. And of course, guys, if you're a mechanic, there's plenty of other trades that are gonna use the high torques way more often. But just for what I do, I don't necessarily need the high torque all the time, but it's definitely a useful thing to have. You never know when you're gonna use this. You know, if you got some more rusted lugs you need to take off, this will just snap them off like they're nothing. So, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. If you got any questions, guys, let me know in the comments below. If you're looking for any of the deals on these, of course, you know, we're getting into the holiday season. I'm sure we'll find lots of deals. I'm actually really looking forward to seeing any Metabo HPT deals this year. After that one battery rebate, it got me into the brand a lot more, so I'm really curious to see what's going on there. And I believe that there's a rumor going around right now that this Dewalt deal for 200 bucks is going to be coming back. And I even heard that it might include that ratchet as well too. So something to keep your eyes open for, guys. As we get to the holiday season, you might find deals on all of this stuff, maybe some of it, but time will tell, guys. So keep your eyes open whenever at Lowe's or Home Depot. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. Take care.